guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Hotspur, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan, and I'm proud today to say this today. Harry Kane's world's biggest fan. That's what I am, #1. And today we are bringing you the player ratings and basking in yesterday's glory. And boy, as the fifth round draw being kind to us, of course, draw Middlesbrough. Absolutely delighted with that. And we are joined by my man, Jack Kanicki. Jack, how are you keeping, brother?
Doing well, Dave. It's kind of funny to have a nice win on the Saturday because, I feel like there's more risk. Spurs could end up, ruining your whole weekend, on Saturday, but it doesn't really feel that way, Dave. You kind of have nice Sunday vibes, maybe hang out with the missus, go for a walk, kind of just wear the Spurs kit about the house while you're doing things. It just feels like it's a good weekend just to kind of enjoy the team.
No, it definitely is. I mean, not much to complain about at all from yesterday's game. I thought it was a pretty good performance. Some lovely one-touch football at times. We were very assured of our passing, which maybe we could not have said coming up to this game. So a lot of positives going forward. But Jack, just quickly, what is your thoughts on yesterday's game in reflection?
In reflection, I kind of thought it was one of those kind of really calm, cool, comfortable performances. It felt like maybe Brighton, it's hard to say whether they were really up for it or whether they just got kind of outclassed by Spurs. It felt like we were putting a lot of pressure on them from the beginning of the game, which probably rattled them a bit. Potentially the home crowd advantage, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium maybe got to them as well. But perhaps all of that with the high pressure, with the intensity that kind of Spurs brought into the game, Dave, I think Brighton, just weren't really ready. They just didn't really show up for it. Perhaps, they kind of just left their boots at home kind of performance. And it felt like a really comfortable one for us. It felt really similar to Crystal Palace, Dave. Like from the moment the ball was kicked, I felt like we all know who was going to win that match from the moment the ball was kicked. I feel like Crystal Palace was a bit of a similar performance. So a really comfortable win for Spurs. I feel like this is the right kind of momentum to carry into Southampton, which I'm happy about. There really weren't any real negatives to draw from this game, Dave. So that's what I'm also happy about. Just kind of cool, calm, collected win.
Yeah, look, but the biggest thing I took from it was how quick we started. We didn't let Brighton settle into any sort of tempo. We didn't allow them the possession that they actually usually like in games. We got at them from minute one, and we stamped our authority on the game, which is what we should be doing to teams like Brighton. Spurs fans, we shouldn't be sitting here praising Brighton and praising Potter and stuff like that. We should be walking into this game with the sort of arrogance, that we're going to win, we're going to beat Brighton. This shouldn't be causing us any problems. Yeah. This should be a routine win. And I'm so thankful now that we've done that. And now the next time we face Brighton, we can have that arrogance going into the game. And as well, making the home Tottenham Hotspur, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Jack, an absolute fortress. I mean, I think the only game we've lost there was that Chelsea game. And even then, we gave a good account of ourselves in that game. Yeah. I think our home form, and it's going to be crucial. And you'll more see this. It's going to be crucial in the top four race, but you'll more see the reflection of this next year, where I truly believe we'll see the best of Tottenham under Antonio Conte. And I think we could be in for a very good home form next year. And once you make your home a fortress and it's guaranteed 3 points or at least a point, you keep that point board ticking over. And who knows where it can take us next season, Jack?
No, who knows where it could take us next season? Absolutely, Dave. And to be fair, actually, I think what I really like about this sort of kind of performance, Dave, was we did see maybe what Kulusevski and Bentancur also bring to the squad kind of dynamism. We realized okay, we kind of fielded a version of our best lineup. Maybe no Skip, no Dyer, of course, but that was a version of probably our best starting 11. And you bring on players like Bentancur and Kulusevski, and you're kind of thinking could this 11 even get better? There are these guys improvements. You start to kind of think about why maybe getting rid of Tanguy and Ndombele, Dele Alli, and Lo Celso was actually such a good move, is because no longer, like I said, Dave, does Antonio Conte have to worry about putting them on the bench and, trying to get the best out of them for a game. He can worry about whichever players he knows will put in the job for him. Steven Bergwijn, Kulusevski, Bentancur. It's just a lot of good vibes, I think, around the Tottenham training ground, Dave. I think he's put in a lot of good players that will battle for him, that will put in the hard yards for him, and that will only breed success, I feel like, because when you have 24, 25 men behind Conte, I think you're going to always have success.
100%, Jack. And I actually agree with you there, because we seen the reflection of that on the pitch yesterday. I mean, you know, the team we went with yesterday, you're looking at, you're saying, how can that first 11 improve? But it can. You still have Eric Dyer to come back into the team. You still have Skip, who's out injured. Tanganga, you know, okay, he's been a bit ropey, but he provides competition for places. And when you have everybody pulling in the same direction and you have your best players available, we can play like we did yesterday, which was a very good team performance. But not only that, you can actually look at the bench and bring off players off the bench, bring them into the game, and you're still continuing on playing the same way. Unlike before, where maybe you were bringing on these guys off the bench, and you're maybe looking at maybe a dip in performance or a dip in things that are a dip in the passing or the control or just the quality in the game. And I think yesterday when we brought on our subs, like especially Bentancur, I think he really helped Højbjerg in that midfield, and it kind of helped us, you know, that last 15 minutes, bringing on Kulusevski, some fresh legs. Could have ended the game with 2 assists yesterday, you know.
Yeah.
Looking at him, I do think he's very left-footed. I do think sometimes he needs to go down and trust himself going on the right-hand side. He kept on trying to cut in on that left yesterday. But, you know, the point is that we brought players off the bench and we were able to maintain the level that we were at. And I think that's a very important point. But look, we're going to see what Irish Hotspur Army are in the building with us. We have James C. Mudinge. He says it weighs 3-0 in the title. Oh, my bad. I'll go and change that now. I thought I put 3-1.
Oh, no, I changed it. Don't worry.
Jack changed it. The regular says Forest 4, Leicester 1. What a game. I can't believe that. I cannot believe that. Yeah, well, I can, I suppose. They did turn over Arsenal, to be fair. And Jed Spence, I believe, had a very good game as well. Colin Turner says, told you 3-1. And Harry, top dog. Exactly, my man. Harry Kane was always going to be top dog. Dermot's in the building. Big up, Dermot. Hope you had a good birthday yesterday. He says, ladies and gentlemen, it's the same time, same Irish place. It's the Batman and Robin of the Spurs YouTube world. David Batman, Irish Hotspur Harris, and his partner in crime, Jack Robin, Statsman Kaniki. Come on, you Harris Army. Big up, Dermot, my man. Absolutely loving those intros. Dino the Dinosaur says, David and Jack, what do you think about a summer bid for James Maddison as a much-needed creative midfielder? There's 2 years left on his contract, and teaming up with Kane for England. Do you know what? I just think James Maddison is way too inconsistent. I don't believe he'd be the right player to come in here and kind of take us to that next level, which is where we need to go. That's just my opinion on it. Jack, what do you think?
A few things. I like James Maddison. He's a really good player. He is a really good player, Dino. Don't get me wrong. Few things I don't want him, though, for are, one, he's a gooner. The second reason is also as well, Dave, like you just said, the inconsistency. That's been spoken about a lot with James Maddison. He'll be absolutely on fire for 3 weeks, and then he'll go missing for a month. Yeah. You know, to be honest, I don't really like those sort of players. I feel like I'd rather them be kind of calm and kind of consistent. They don't have to be tearing it up game after game after game and then fall off. Just kind of keep it a bit consistent, keep it 7 out of 10 at all costs. I feel like as well, Dave, the other thing is he wouldn't really fit Antonio Conte's system. He's not going to be able to be in the midfield too. Could he really play in the 3-4-3? I'm not sure. Can he really do the pressing that Antonio Conte wants at times and the hard work? I'm not sure. So great player, Dino Dinosaur. Great player, Dino Dinosaur, but maybe not for us at this moment in time.
Yeah, no, you're spot on there, Jack. He's not really a Conte player or what he'd be looking for. Spot on. But good suggestion, though, Dino. Big yourself up, my man. Sue Smith says, come on, you Spurs. # Harris Army. Big up, Sue Smith. I hope you're keeping well. Hopefully you enjoyed that win yesterday. All the way from Lagos, we have Paro Miguel Escobardo. Vamos, Spurs. Come on, you Harris Army. Come on, you Flat Cap Army. Big up, my man. We also have KJ Hotspur in the house. Good afternoon, lads. Big up, KJ, my man. I hope you are keeping well as well, brother. THFC for life says, sign Spence ASAP. He's class. Been saying it all January. You know, I watched him against Arsenal, and I'll be honest, it's the first game I've watched him, but I could tell by looking at him in that game, he's better than championship level. And for me, I bring him into Tottenham, and I take that chance for 15 million. I don't think you can go wrong, to be honest with you. And plus, we've signed players from Forest before. Michael Dawson came from Forest, back in the day. He came in and done very well for Tottenham Hotspur. Andy Reid, he was okay. The good old Irishman. And then, Chris Gunter as well. But we have signed players from Forest before, so maybe we could deal with them. The bottom dude says legendary duo, David and Jack. David's personality is just amazing. He can really drive something and keep the audience captivated. I appreciate that, my man. I really do appreciate the kind words. You're honestly, you're making my head so big I won't be able to move through my doors later, my man. But big up, really appreciate that. That's an amazing compliment. Alexander Hilton. I think this is like some steak song that's going around. I don't know what it is. Who else have we got? But big up, Alexander. Philip Brady says Maddison is a Gooner fan for that reason alone. No, big up, Philip Brady. We seen how that worked out when Matt Doherty, didn't we, my man? Ganesh Prabhu's in the house. Big up, Jack and David. My man Ganesh, I hope you're keeping well. Sai Dancer, THFC. Hello, boys. Hello, Sai. I hope you're keeping well as well, lad. We have Lazy 8 in the house. He says, plus Philip Brady. He's a pound shop Beckham. So no, for me.
Kind of is, actually, to be fair. He kind of is. He kind
I
of is,
love
actually.
That, Nick. What a man. Big up, Nick. Sabar says, did we play well or were Brighton not too good? I just thought we played well. I thought our quality shone through, to be honest with you. I'll be honest. I really don't know what all the rave was about Brighton. A lot of their passing is across the back line from side to side. I nearly fell asleep watching them when they were on the ball that time. I was nearly half asleep. Jack, what would you say?
Yeah, I don't know, Dave. Like, I've seen Brighton play really well. Actually, to be fair, when I've seen them play their best, it's been at home, which I've noticed. They play this really scintillating kind of football when it's been at home for them. What I would say is there are times, like you said, Dave, really boring kind of play from them, but then they also just gave it away at times, like really sloppily, where you also were kind of not very convinced. You're kind of like, why is this a team everybody talks about, when they were giving it away in really bad areas? And to be fair, Dave, you could be right, because at one stage I did hear a joke from somebody at one stage about Brighton, where they were saying, like, how many bad performances or how many goalless performances from Brighton are we going to go through without, until we kind of say that they're not that good anymore, kind of thing, where, they have a lot of draws, they have a lot of boring results, and yet we kind of continue the narrative of them being this XG king, of them being this like beautiful brand of football, this beautiful team, which I think they are. But when you do look at the results sometimes that they put out, you're kind of like, where is it?
Yeah, no, look, for me, I think Potter's a Poundland Pep. I really do. And I'll be honest with you, when it comes to Brighton, honestly, I just think they bore the pants off me. To be honest with you, my man, Sabar, but big yourself up, man. We also have Mark Cousins in the building. Big up, lads. Apparently, Partici was in Nottingham today looking at that wing back, and it wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me. We couldn't go for him in the January because he's already played for 2 clubs this season, and he can't play for 3. But we will revisit that in the summer. We will be looking at him. But
we got Mark.
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if Liverpool and other clubs were sniffing around this guy and realising his potential. So he says, big up, legends. Come on, you Spurs. Big up. So we really appreciate it.
Legend yourself, Zoe.
Zach Mo's in the house. He says, we're so good at home. That we are, my man. We're absolutely brilliant at home. Big yourself up. We have John Stokes in the building. Says, evening, top man Dave and top man Jack. Great win yesterday. Hashtag come on, you Spurs. Our new boys were a breath of fresh air, even for just 20 minutes. So please, Romero is back, and kudos to Emerson. My man, you've covered an absolute lot there. Look, I was delighted to see the new boys. I'll be honest with you, I think Bentancur walked straight into the team on Wednesday night and Harry Winks has dropped. That's just my opinion on it. Kulusevski, I don't know if he'd done enough to start ahead of Lucas, but for sure he'd get more minutes. And for me, I think, look, Romero, probably the best player on the pitch yesterday. Yeah. And you know what? It just goes to show that when you're proactive about your job, which is defending, you can look so good. You know what I mean? You can stop so many balls just because I've seen so many times at Tottenham, the ball will come into the striker, he's pinned our centre back and he's holding up, and you're like, there's no one else around him. Just get in amongst them, take the ball off him. But what Romero does is he realizes that and he gets in ahead of the striker, takes it off him, and he's gone. And not only that, but when he gets the ball, he's putting his hands out, calm down, everyone. I've got this, cool, calm, and collective on the ball, and plays us nicely out in the back. I thought it was unreal yesterday, to be honest with you, John Jack.
No, I think Romero was world class yesterday, Dave. I don't think he really did anything wrong. To be honest, multiple times got stuck in, multiple times, made players, taste the turf. Lots of times as well. Dave wins the ball back, like you say, plays also a beautiful pass in order to also get the next move going, in order to get the counterattack started. He was ridiculously calm, cool, and collected and composed in possession. a world-class performance from Romero. Dave, I actually thought the man of the match. I think I said that as well at the end of the watch along as well. He was my man of the match.
Yeah, big yourself up, John. Between him and Harry, 100%. Catman Jess is in the building. I believe it's your birthday as well,
Yeah,
Catman.
Catman Jess celebrating 7 months as a member, as a green member, celebrating 7 months. And he says, big up David and Jack and the Harrison Flat Cap Army. I'm 31 today. Catman Jess, happy birthday. Absolute legend as well. Also, GOAT of the channel as well, Catman Jess says. Been a member for 7 months, Dave. Been around for a really long time, Catman has. But it seems like a lot of legends of the Harris Army have had birthdays. I believe, what is it, Dermot yesterday, Chris yesterday, a few others. I think there was also some Spurs players. So a lot of birthdays this weekend. A lot of people really close to us, Dave. A lot of people really close to us as well. Birthdays. So just beautiful to see. Big yourself up, Catman. Absolute legend and GOAT of the Harris Army.
Yeah, big old Catman. It was Mickey Hazard's birthday as well yesterday. So
that's right.
What an absolute legend. Derek Hutchinson says, good evening, David and Jack. Good evening, Derek. I hope you are keeping well, my man. I hope you enjoyed that win yesterday as well. We have TTV Borg in the house here. Dave, big up, my man. I hope you're keeping well. Zach, no, we only drew once at home. Forget about losing to the Premier League under Conte, and that was against Liverpool. Yeah, 100%. 100%, and that's a good result at home against a team like that, to be fair, in my opinion. But big up, Mr. Borg, or big up, Zach. William Pretty says, come on, good win yesterday. It was absolutely brilliant, my man. Buzzing. Leon says, hey, lads, big up yourselves. Big yourself up, Leon. Hope you're keeping well, my man. We have Damianos, 13, says, good evening, lads.
I think. Yeah,
Damianos, that's the one. Big up, my man. What a legend. We have Gaguma. Happy birthday, Catman Jess. Big up, Gaguma. Good to see you in. I hope you're keeping well. I hope you enjoyed that victory yesterday. I hope you really took it in and enjoyed it. It was great to see her getting our Tottenham back. Just make sure we haven't missed anyone. We have Pookie Pete. He says, was at the game yesterday. Great atmosphere, great performance. And both new signings made impacts on their debuts. All around a great game. Exactly my thoughts, Pookie Pete. And I really hope you enjoyed that game yesterday, my man. Big yourself up. And I hopefully you were going wild when Big H scored, my man. Legend. Jonathan Atkinson says, would you guys try and snatch Adama from Barcelona in the summer? No. I'll go and get Jed Spence. Adama's there. We won't get him out of Barca in the summer anyway. He wouldn't be there long enough for them to even consider cashing in on him. For me, I think you just go and get Jed Spence and give the guy a go, because it's not about how much money you spend. It's about the right recruitment, right recruitment, the right mentality, the right player for what you need for your system. But big up, Jonathan. Christoph Martin says, what do you think about Jed Spence? Look good against Arsenal and Leicester. Been saying it all month. I would love us to go and get this kid. I think he's one that's going to have a very rapid rise, to be honest with you. I think he's very good. He's strong, he's powerful, he's quick, and he's up and down all game long. I absolutely love him. But big up, Christoph. Who else have we got? We've got Go Getter 1. Big up. He says, my guys, up the Spurs. Damianos. Say it again, Jack.
Damianos.
Yeah, there you are, my man. I get Jack to say your name. He says, my mate told me that me and David had the same face of despair when Brighton scored last night. Yeah, look, it wouldn't surprise me. I get so angry when we concede, to be honest with you. But I actually blame Harry Winks for that goal, and we will get into it and explain why. Ojam is in the house. Big up, my man. He says, big up, lads. What a legend. THFC for life says, we made Brighton look bad. Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm talking about, my man. Molan Joe says, we don't want Maddison. I hate him. He's a cheating, diving little rat. There you are. I think that answers everything. Big up, my man. John Smith is here. Do you think Diaz will fit in well at Liverpool? Pretty anonymous, I heard today, to be honest with you. So I don't know. We'll wait and see. Derek Hutchinson says, Dave, presume his quality. He is, but there's still a reason why he's at Brighton. Just type it into Google. You'll find it, Derek, my man. Paul Markey says, told you guys Bentancur was by your January market. No, look, we told you. We've been sitting here defending the signings all month, my man. Or them couple of days. So we were. Everyone was going, oh, they're you. Well, maybe not you, Paul Markey, but everyone was going, oh, they're Juve bench warmers. Didn't look like that yesterday when they came off the bench, did they, Jacko?
No, they certainly did not, Paul. And as well. Like Bentancur, I mean, especially was not, calling him mid or, calling him average or bench warmer. Even in my own scout report, Paul, I kind of spoke about like people don't realize that Bentancur has played in more high profile games alongside more high profile players in more high profile kind of situations than all of our players combined. All of our players combined, this guy has played at more high profile sort of situations and settings than the rest of our players. He's also younger than Harry Winks, everybody, almost a year and a half, I think, younger than Harry Winks as well. And he's played in much more bigger profile sort of kind of games, as well as with bigger sort of players, bigger situations. I don't know. Bentancur, the moment we got him, I knew he was going to be a class signing, especially for 19 million euros. Come on, Paul.
And Paul, I don't know if I'm going too far here, right? But just hear me out. When I seen him on that pitch yesterday, he kind of cast the same sort of shadow or figure, and he has the same sort of height and body, like a bit like a Dembele, in my opinion. He has the footwork and stuff like that. There's a lot more to come from this guy. I'm telling you, the Uruguayan Dembele, you gotta love him. But big up, Paul Markey. Really appreciate the support. The bottom do it says Bentancur, gentlemen, player to watch out. I am back to following Serie A now, considering that most of our recruits are going to be from Serie A from now on.
Yeah.
What would you say to the bottom do it?
I've been thinking about that, bottom dude. I don't have as much time to really watch a bunch of Serie A, but it's also probably my third favorite league, I would say. But I feel like we have to. We're going to have to, especially as a flat capper, we're going to have to do our scouting over there, majority of our scouting, and have to send all the flat cap Eurotalk scouts over to Serie A to see what, they could find. It seems like all of our targets will really come from there. The majority of players we want will come from there. We're going to have to just get used to some Serie A and learning a bit of Italian to bottom dude up, but big yourself up, my man. Looking forward to it. I mean, I do like the Serie A. I did actually watch Inter Milan versus Milan last night in the Milan derby. Ridiculous comeback from AC Milan. So yeah, I'm already getting started.
No, big up. And look, there's some very, very good technical players in the Serie A that I think I actually like the Serie A. I think it's grown in stature, I think, over the last couple of years, to be honest with you. And you look right through the league, there's some quality players right throughout that league. And, so there's some real bargains to be had out of that league, in my opinion, the bottom do it.
Absolutely.
But big yourself up, my man. I really appreciate the support. Just take a couple more comments here. We have Pamela Slims in the house. She says, was at the game yesterday. Great atmosphere, great performance. Nice. Both new signings made impacts on their debuts. Oh, that's Puka Pete's. My bad. I think I've gone too far. Yeah, I did go too far. Where's Pamela Slims? She's here. Here she is. Says, I was at the game yesterday sitting by the dugout and shouted to Kane, can you score a goal for the Irish Hotspur? Absolutely love that. I absolutely love that. Big up Pamela Slims. And don't worry, I'll be there on Sunday against Wolves. Cheering him on, so I will. And I've tweeted him yesterday, and I tweeted him again today. So he knows I'll be there. I absolutely love that. Faz Radfar says, Bentancur yellow card in debut. He means business. Yeah, he does, but I hope it doesn't turn out like Harry Winks, where he gets his customary yellow card so he can fist pump to the crowd. I love you guys, But no, look, Bentancur's 10 times better than that. But do you know what I was actually impressed with, Faz, though? I was really impressed with how cool and calm he was. His positioning sense. If you look at when we were out of play, how many times was he in there to win a header or just kind of sneak the ball back? And he showed for the ball, which I think was absolute. I noticed that from the 15 minutes yesterday. And for me, he just looked levels above Harry Winks already in them 15 minutes. And I think Harry Winks could be dropped.
Yeah, spot on, Dave. All I can say, Bentancur, or Faz, what I can say is Bentancur, when you saw him get that yellow, you could actually tell he wanted that yellow. He's just one of those sort of players where he actually was just like, referee, like, you don't realize I actually love it. I actually want the yellow card. Like, give me the yellow card. Just get it out of your pocket. Get it over with. He just seemed like he wanted the yellow card, which was just beautiful to see. Where someone like Harry Winks, he kind of just does it for the crowd, does it for the cameras. Looks like Rodrigo Bentancur took a bit of personal pride from that yellow card when he came on. So that's all I can say, Faz.
Big up, Faz. Claude Murphy's in the building. Big up, Claude. Absolutely love it. Gaguma said she was loving that victory yesterday. So happy to see that. 100%. I think we all were, Gaguma. It was a breath of fresh air. John Stokes says, part of my winnings from yesterday's game. My man, what bet did you have on? Let me know. I do like the odd accumulator here and there, and I just can't seem to get one in. Maybe you can send me a few tips, John. You lucky man. Look, you should be treating yourself to a nice pint or a nice takeaway or something out of that, But big yourself up, John. Really
Big
appreciate
up, John.
it, brother.
Absolute legend.
Lucky man. Let me know what you want on, though. I do want to know. Just a couple of more quick mentions. Who's in here? We have Tequila 316. We have Oren as well. Bentancur played like he always has played for Spurs. He will always get forward too and just seems to be 2 steps ahead of the play. 100%. We have Brad Hofspur. Great win, lads. Big up to the 2 goats, Dave and Jack. And happy birthday to my best friend, Catman Jess. Big
legend.
up. I really appreciate that. Love it. Rich Vice says, do we shift Dyer to the right to keep Romero in the middle? Over back 3, Dyer is less mobile and may get cooked out wide. He's looked good in the middle. Romero superior, though, in that spot. And look, Rich, that is a very interesting point. And
take yourself back to the Vitesse game. Take yourself back to that Vitesse game, Rich. Actually, when you remember, Romero started in the middle versus Vitesse, and Dyer started out on the right. Dyer was getting torched out on the right, and Romero had to actually switch with him. And so basically Conte had to move Romero to the right-hand side of the center back 3, and then Dyer had to play in the middle. I feel like Romero is just better in both positions of the back 3 than Dyer is, but I think there's less damage, or there's more damage control when you have maybe Dyer in the middle of the back 3, whereas Romero just plays each of the positions better than him. So you might as well have more damage control and just put Dyer in the middle.
Yeah. Big up, my man. Big up. Really appreciate everybody. Everybody, we're going to get into it now, but make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you smash that subscribe button if you are new. The big push to 6K is on. And feel free to help support myself and Jack on our YouTube journey with a super chat or 2. Give us your thoughts, your opinions in them. We'll sit here, discuss them, at great length. But also, we know, it's a harsh world out there, and not everybody's in a position to do it. So do not worry. Just at least get your thoughts in the comments, and we will bring them up as we go on. Just maybe a couple more. We have the Bolton Dude. Big up the Bolton Dude. I really appreciate the support, man. You're way too kind to us. He says, 3 up front is going to be our line of attack, but do you think a 4-3-3 is better suited than a 3-4-3? By playing a 4-3-3, we can play Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Bentancur, and Skip in the midfield. And maybe, Jack, just to maybe add to the Bolton Dude. The Bolton Dude is teeing me up here, and I'm running in with the driver and hitting it down the fairway. But, does that kind of depend on the opposition, Jack?
Does that depend on the opposition? I feel like I just don't want to switch. I don't want to go back to a 4 in the back for me personally. Maybe I could see the reasoning where, like, actually, if Emerson is better in a 4 in the back anyways and is strong defensively, so you could kind of use Emerson and 2 center backs as kind of, the players that are the most defensive, and then Reguilon or Sessegnon, whichever one is there, bombs forward. But I feel like what happens then, though, is like Ben Davies, you just don't trust in a back 4. So that means Ben Davies no longer plays. You then are picking between maybe Dyer and Romero, which I think is actually fine. Maybe Emerson then to help them out. That could work out. And then you have that 3-man midfield that you're talking about, which sounds absolutely dirty. But for me, I just don't go to the back 4. I just don't. I feel like I think you kind of actually mess things up a bit. You also mess up a bit of the cohesion and maybe the learning that the players are doing under this back 3, back 4. I really like the look of our back 3 and our back 5. I really like the looks of it. I wouldn't change a thing personally. And I actually expect us to be playing 3-4-3 for the remainder of the season, to be honest.
Do you know what the Bolton do? Maybe against some of the bigger teams where you're not expecting to have much of the ball, you could probably go with the 4-3-3 to get Højbjerg, Bentancur, and Skip in there for the hard work and to try and turn the ball over if you're going to play counter-attacking football. And I definitely look, it's 100% an option. But when you look at the options we have there, we've got Bentancur, Skip, Højbjerg, Winks, and we know Harvey White is training with the first team. Do we have enough players in that position to be able to play 3 in midfield? And that's my sort of thinking behind it. But I agree with Jack. I do think 3-4-3 suits us a lot more better. I think the way the wing-backs play Emerson and Reguilon, the way they overlap, they create space for the forwards, but they also create passing options out from the back. And I actually do prefer the 3 at the back. Look, I trust Romero. If you had someone else as good as Romero, I think you probably could switch to a 4 at the back. But when you've got either Davies or Sanchez or Dyer playing in either in beside them, I think that's where teams will attack, and I think they will get joy. But where if you play them as a unit, they all look stronger together. So for that reason, I would probably stick with the 3 centre backs, my man. but big yourself up the bottom, do it. Let us know what your thoughts are, what your reply is to that. Let us know whether you agree or disagree, my man. And just quickly, another couple of comments. John Stokes says, Dave, I won £15 on us winning 3-1. Absolutely love that. You could have won more if you stuck Harry Kane on the double, my man. Do that next time, John. Big up, though. Wayne Bonner, he's an OG. He's been here since day one. He says, I was impressed with what I saw from Bentancur last night in his 15 minutes cameo. He's going to be class. Romero was monumental in the middle.
Absolutely.
A lot of people getting super excited about him, Wayne. A hell of a lot of people. And I can't wait to see him Wednesday night. I do think he starts in that midfield. Chris Agenber's in the house. Big up, Chris. He says, evening all. Big up, David and Jack. Got my ticket for the Wolves game. Chris,
Legend.
I'll be there. I can't wait to go, my man. Hopefully we'll see people for pints beforehand. I will let people know where I'll be. Island Life says, Kulu could have gotten 2 assists yesterday. 100%, my man. Ashley Macmillan says, why would Wolves loan and play any player, but loaning Adama to Barca? Why let an important player go like that on loan, Jack?
I think they let Adama go because Adama wanted to leave. I think they've grown a bit sick of Adama over time. He hasn't exactly really, lived up to the potential of maybe what they wanted him to do. I feel like he's done a job over at Wolves, but he hasn't exactly lived up to the heights and expectations. I think he's made a few rumblings about wanting to leave. His contract expires in 2023, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. So, there's kind of just once the contract expires in 2023 or once the contract expires in a year, you basically, if they don't want to re-sign it, then you just kind of work on trying to get them out the club. So that's what Wolves have done. And to be fair, actually, Barcelona gave them the best deal. Barcelona gave them a loan with an option to buy. I think it's like an obligation to buy even. So Barca are going to pay 30 million. We would have paid like 18 million or something for him. So they made, 12 million more off of it. It kind of just makes sense at the end of the day. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Why would they loan players like Adama? But I think Adama wanted to leave and Bruno Lage wants to do what he wants to do with the players that he has.
Yeah, big up, Ashley. Tom Harris is in the house, says, big up, lads. Love the feel in our club right now. So do I. I'm absolutely buzzing with things going forward. And we'll take the super chat from Paul Markey and then we will really get into it. Paul Markey says 3-4-3 with the 10 playing deep is our best option. Against certain teams, we go for a 3-5-2. Jack, what would you say to Paul Markey?
Against certain teams, we do go 3-5-2. I could actually see that, especially when you think about it, Paul. Like, if you had a 3-man midfield of the 3-5-2, let's say, in the 3-5-2, if you do that 3-man midfield at Bentancur, Skip, and Højbjerg, I mean, honestly, you honestly will be in a graveyard. It's a graveyard. It's the Bermuda Triangle kind of midfield. I mean, they all just get so stuck in. I really would be quite fearful of anybody trying to make a run through that midfield, especially with the ball at their feet. So 3-5-2 against a Chelsea, something like that, I feel like could really work. Against a Liverpool, that could really work. Against teams that Man City, I would definitely run the 3-5-2 with those three in there, Højbjerg, Skip, and Bentancur. And then the 3-4-3, I think, is actually our best formation when it comes to actually getting goals, when it comes to being a bit more dynamic, a bit kind of better going forward. I think the 3-4-3s look great. Those two pocket number 10s, like you're kind of talking about, have done wonders for us. So 3-4-3 for the majority of games, 3-5-2 for maybe when we're trying to lock up shop a bit more, Paul. Absolutely.
Big up, Paul, my man. Really appreciate the support. But look, Jack, let's get into it. Everybody smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. And while we're going through the player ratings, please get your player ratings in the comments. And then, if yours outdoes ours, then yours wins. So please let us know in the comments what your ratings are. But look, Jack, let's get into it. We'll start with Hugo Lloris.
Take it away with Hugo Lloris, Dave. For me, a 7. Made maybe 1 or 2 good saves. At one stage, I think there was actually, funny enough, 2 deflected shots from Bissouma. One of them went in, the other one didn't. One of the ones that didn't go in, Dave, I actually thought he made a pretty clever save there to be able to get away. There was other situations when he came out, just to collect the ball. Hugo Lloris, not really exactly a performance where he had a ton to do, you would say. Wasn't exactly, kick out the lawn chair sort of performance either. I think he still had a fair bit to do sometimes. But for me, I think a 7. Maybe if he had saved that Bissouma shot, you could give him an 8 because that would have been a world-class save. But 7, probably close to an 8, maybe if he had a clean sheet.
Yeah, do you know what? For me, I think a 7. I think there was one save I was impressed with. He completely readjusted his body. There was a shot that went in. Romero ended up deflecting it, and he adjusted his body and managed to make that save. I thought it was a good save. Look, the goal. I was a bit critical of him yesterday. I thought maybe he could have at least flopped that direction just to try and see if he could stop it. But looking at it again, look, we all know who I'll get into it, who I blame. But looking at it again, I mean, there's probably not much he could have done. I think 7 is a fair reflection on the game. It's not a game that he was really asked to do much. A lot of Brighton shots were going into the stand for souvenirs for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I think 7 is fair. Dan THFC, new member, my man. Hopefully, we will see you tomorrow for the fan show, brother. Big yourself up.
I think it's Dan, young
sure
Daniel. I think it's the
it
young
is.
Dan. So it's good to see you back, my man. Hopefully we'll catch you tomorrow. Nice warm seat for you for the fan show. Good to have you back, Dan.
Big up,
But we
man.
will move on to the next player here, Dave. Davinson Sanchez played in the right side of the back three, the right-sided center back in the back three. Davinson Sanchez, maybe the worst of the back three potentially, but didn't do exactly a whole lot wrong. There were some moments when I didn't think he had convincing clearances. Sometimes the way he will clear it, you're kind of just scratching your head, like, he put that much force behind it, yet it only went that far. But I don't know, Dave, like, it wasn't exactly a lot of moments where I can really point to Davinson Sanchez really having a howler. Wasn't really many times when he made significant mistakes. He seemed to be very active, seemed to be very aggressive, but also didn't exactly stand out in the way that Romero did. So I feel like a 7's fair.
Yeah, I think a 7 is fair. Look, didn't really do too much wrong. But again, I thought he was probably the worst out of the back line. Still, when balls over the top, he still doesn't really know where they are. Still looks a bit shaky for me. But look, he done some decent things as well. I think 7 is fair on that. Not really much to say on Davison, to be honest with you. I actually don't think he was heavily involved in yesterday's game. I don't remember him popping up too much with anything outstanding.
No, I think you're absolutely right. Like,
And I
kind of
think
not
the
really.
comments agree with the 7 as well.
Yeah, not really heavily involved. So we do move on to who I actually think is the man of the match with this one. But Christian Romero, Dave, we've given him a 9. To Dave, we've spoken about it lots of times before. People saying, "Oh, you can't just put Christian Romero back into the lineup." I think the reason why you think you should, and the reason why you can, is because of that performance last night. Easily the best center back of the back three by a country mile. The way he played, it kind of just showed how much we missed him. Not only for his aggression and winning the ball back, but also his composure in possession. His composure in possession took us, like, just made the game exponentially easier, made the game, a lot more in control, gave us that sense of calm. Just, it was beautiful to have Romero back, Dave. A world-class player to have in the back line. Did excellently in the middle of the back three. It's actually what he's been used to at Atalanta, but over at Spurs, it's not what he's been playing recently. So he had to make that adjustment too. I thought, Dave, world-class performance from Romero. Just everything about him made it unbelievable. Easy 9, like easy 9. Like you could actually go close to a 10 here.
Yeah, look.
Maybe if he grabbed a goal. Maybe if he grabbed a goal, he gets a 10.
Yeah. Look, maybe if he didn't have that slip, I probably would have given him a 10. But, look, what I will say is, look, there was huge debate. Will we put him back in? Should we ease him in? And I've stuck by it the whole time. I'm like, this guy's our best defender. It's like Sonny. When he's fit, you put him straight back in. I actually thought he was outstanding yesterday. Anyone go back and look at the games. Any good bit of defending that happened yesterday, this guy done it. He was so proactive about defending. What I love about him, Jack, is how aggressive he is. And it's a striker's nightmare. Mope didn't want to know yesterday. It's an absolute striker's nightmare because you know you're going to get kicked. You know you're as soon as you touch that ball, it's going to be a physical battle. But with Romero, he gets in ahead of them. He takes the ball off them. And then he's just how calm he is on the ball as well. He's ice cool. I actually think yesterday he looked so much better in the centre because before, when he got injured, he was playing on the right of the tree. And he just looked so much more comfortable in the centre, Jack. So much more better. And I thought, for a guy that's been out with a hamstring injury, he surely has come back in and shown every Spurs fan what defending really is. Right. Compared to what we've seen all month in January, this guy has come back in. He's combative. He's proactive about his job as well. And for me, I think a 9. I think the calmness he brought especially on the ball once we got it back. It filtered out right throughout the team, into the midfield, right through to the forward line. And just that calmness he brings cannot be understated, in my opinion.
No, it
I
can't
think,
be
I think
understated.
the
It
best
can't be.
performance we've seen from him in the Spurs jersey.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, actually, that's spot on, Dave. The best performance we've seen from him in a Spurs jersey. Probably one of the best defensive performances we've seen from any sort of defender, I would say,
In
this
about 3
season.
years, Jack.
Maybe you could even go back that far. I was just thinking this season. Gogama in here with the super chat saying Romero with 2 big hearts as well.
Yeah.
Gogama, the way he performed last night, it was just kind of like, I'm pretty sure I know what kit I want from this season. I'm pretty sure I want the Romero kit. It's just somebody that has just absolutely just looked world class from the moment he's played for us. He's unbelievable. He really is. He gives you vibes of being one of the best defenders in the world, if not the league, just by the way he plays. You just kind of think about it. It's like you can't really be that much classier, that much more composed, that much just making the game look that easy. He just made the game look that easy last night, Gogama, and especially after not playing for a long time as well. Didn't even look like he hadn't played in a long time. It really didn't. He looked like he was in his element. It looked like he was in his element. So Gogama, big yourself up. Really do appreciate support, but I would just say, everybody, Romero, class performance, probably man of the match for me. Do let me know. But Ben Davies, kind of similar to Sanchez, Dave, maybe not exactly a whole lot to remember from Ben Davies's performance. Really, to me, didn't make any significant mistakes. I don't really exactly remember a lot going down the right-hand side. I don't really remember him giving the ball away in any bad, sort of areas. I just, again, kind of a normal sort of performance from Ben Davies. I feel like he gets a 7, similar to Sanchez. Didn't do a whole lot wrong. Didn't do nearly as much as someone like Romero did, but also didn't do a whole lot wrong either, and just gets a 7 then.
I actually think he was better than Sanchez.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
I don't think he was that good to be able to give him an 8.
I
Again,
agree.
Romero just mopped up everything in the middle. It's like Davies and Sanchez didn't even really need to do anything. Romero's defending was that good yesterday. But Ben Davies, when he was called upon to be able to make a tackle or whatever, I think he did do a good job. He had a couple of good interceptions there. I think a 7 is a fair, but I don't think he was anything special to give him an 8.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're better than Sanchez, but wasn't so, remarkably better that, he gets a whole point above. Emerson here, Dave, we've gone for both 8s. I feel like what we did notice, and maybe what a lot of people did maybe notice with Emerson, perhaps in this match, Dave, is I know he's horrible going forward. I get it. Believe me, it pains me every time. But Dave, have you noticed that he really does get up and down the pitch? He gets up and down the pitch in a remarkable sort of fashion where I actually feel like he has a ridiculous engine. And if I said, Dave, if you maybe were going to say, like, if you were to make the whole Spurs team maybe run a marathon or run a half marathon, he'd be the guy that I actually feel like would win that race. He really seems like somebody that is actually in impeccable shape. His ability to get up and down the pitch, I feel like, is actually almost better than Reguilón's. I'm not kidding, because it feels like Emerson's always back to get stuck in, and then you just see him flying with the whole team to do a counterattack as well. I know he doesn't offer a lot going forward, but last night it felt like he did maybe offer a bit of threat. He was playing really high up as well. He sometimes really was, waiting on the last man to be played in behind. He was offering big threat. He was solid defensively, as he always is. I thought this was a great performance from Emerson, and I'm glad he does have a good performance, Dave. So for me, an 8.
Yeah. Look, for me, I've said this time and time again, we just need to be patient with this guy. I still laughing today, Jack. When he was sprinting down the line with that ball and you were making them noises on the watch line. Everybody, please go and check it out. It's the funniest thing I think I've ever seen. It was so funny. I'm still laughing at it today. But, credit where credit's due. He made that lung busting run. And it's not easy to continue to do that at the pace and power he does it at. And look,
he does that every possession we do. He does that possession every possession. He makes that sort of run up and down.
And look, everybody criticizes his crosses, even Sky and everything else, and these players watch that, and he could have easily shied away from putting the ball into the box, but he didn't. He still put it in there, and he got his look yesterday with the deflection, and it went in. And look, for me, I actually thought defensively he was actually sound yesterday. Apart from that goal, which wasn't his fault, There wasn't too much that came down his side whatsoever. You know, Cucurella, he didn't want to take him on yesterday because he knew he didn't have the muscle to be able to do it. And I thought Emerson was decent.
Yeah, I thought he was really solid, Dave. And also, I think a lot of people just maybe forgot he's a lot quicker than he looks. I know it doesn't look like he's the fastest guy, but he actually is a lot quicker than he looks. He's a lot more powerful than he looks. And also, he's as well just his ability to get up and down the pitch, I think is actually something to be kind of admired. It shows the type of shape that he's in, the type of stamina that he's in. It never really looks like he's too tired. It doesn't really like a sort of player that you need to bring off. As well, I don't know, Dave. Like, I know he's always, really disappointing in the forward positions, but this is what I kind of mean. The fact that he is always available, on the wing for a
Yeah.
cross, he is always available in the right positions to do something well, I think just shows his stamina. It shows his intelligence. I really want Emerson to improve for us. I want to see the best of Emerson in this sort of performance. I think does, kind of give me a bit of hope for sure. But Gogama in here with a super chat saying, I like Emerson, positive energy and determined, extremely determined, positive energy. Seems like a good, kind of influence in the dressing room, I'll be honest as well. Like, Dave, I think he even gets an 8 for that sort of celebration, kind of like didn't really let the,
He didn't
didn't
want to
really
claim
let
it.
the
He didn't
goal,
want to
didn't
claim
let
it.
it go to his head. He didn't let the goal go to his head. He just ran, over to the bench, pointed at Conte and, got himself a nice drink of water, which I actually, fair play to him.
It was very modest because if I scored that and I knew the crowd were on my back, I would have just ran across going,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I would have done. I would have given it and I would just like, just relax. But, he was modest with his celebration, wanted to go over, get a good compliment from Conte, go up a water and went on about his game. And, look, a lot of people are saying they reckon a 7 for Emerson. But because I love the guy, I'm going to stick with an 8.
I say an 8 for the celebration for running the whole length of the pitch and then also run the whole length across the pitch to get a drink of water as well. I will say quite an impressive celebration. But we do move on to Region here. Dave, you've given Region a 7. I've given him an 8. I think he gets the same rating for me as an Emerson does. What I feel like maybe needs to be said is he really had a lot of good positions that he took up. Similar to Emerson, Dave, he picks up really good positions. Harry Kane, there were lots of times where you can feed Region in behind. I think at one stage, Højbjerg made a nice touch and then was able to feed Region in the box. Region had a nice shot on goal, wasn't able to bury it. We all feel like Region's never able to bury those sort of chances, but he puts himself in those areas. I thought he made fantastic runs. I never really saw him get caught out kind of defensively. I thought he really offered a great attacking threat. Region, I think we kind of saw to a degree kind of what makes Region. I don't know, maybe it was a performance day for me where like sometimes you do see what Region offers that maybe Sessegnon can't sometimes. I do feel like Region offers a bit of that flair, a bit of that fire that maybe Sessegnon doesn't. I thought it was a good performance from him. Nothing that I can really point out that he really did wrong. So I'm giving him an 8.
Yeah, do you know what? On reflection, I actually do change my rating because I just remembered something. That pass to Harry Kane that time,
Right.
from one end of the pitch right over to the other side, in behind onto his foot. Honestly, any youngster go back and watch that. That's how players pass a football. Kane done one earlier in the game as well like that. But and more I think about it, he actually did pick up some good positions yesterday. I think the reason why I was probably giving him a 7 is because I was probably just disappointed he didn't take one of them chances. He's had a lot of chances this season. But Jack, you're right. He keeps offering them runs every single time. There was even at one stage, Harry Kane was on the ball and he ran on the outside, which made the defender have to come over this side, which allowed Harry Kane to get off a shot. Harry Kane didn't score, but it's them types of selfish runs that create space for our main players up front. And he's always offers a position down that left. I come to think of it, actually, he was actually pretty solid defensively yesterday. Actually, I remember him making a good few tackles down that side, and he was cool and calm on the ball. So I take it back. I actually give him an 8.
Yeah, just for that ping alone, I would
That was
say
sexy.
absolutely sexy. Spot on, Dave. Moving on to the midfield now, the midfield too. Harry Winks, Dave's given him a 7, and I've given him a 6. That is going to be fun to explain. Dave, the reason I've given Harry Winks a 6 is because the goal that we did concede, you do look at it on reflection, everybody. If you do take a look at the goal that we did concede, Harry Winks is just doing what David has always spoken about with the guy. He just stands in space and just marks space. That's all he does. He's just sitting in the box, watching Basuma run across the box, watching his own center back do the job that he should be doing with tracking him across the box. And then he just sits there and watches the goal just go into the back of the net. I thought pretty atrocious defending from Harry Winks. And I think even to say this as well, when we saw Bentancur come on, I feel like Bentancur made more defensive actions and more challenges than Harry Winks did the entirety of the game.
That's true.
And that also made me also think about it in a way that Harry Winks, he didn't exactly do a whole lot wrong, but he didn't really do a whole lot right. It felt like also yesterday. It didn't exactly do a lot of things that really impressed me. There weren't really any brilliant passes that I can remember. Some people even say like, oh, he had that pass to Emerson. It was like Emerson was through. Like you need to be able to play that pass. Again, sometimes we credit Harry Winks, I feel like, with doing his job in terms of the passes that he makes. I just thought it quite pedestrian, average performance from Harry Winks. And I don't want to just group him with the rest of the players when it comes to the good performances. I thought his performance was quite average in comparison to even when Bentancur came out. I thought we saw the difference between him and Bentancur was quite remarkable. I've given him a 6, Dave.
Do you know what, Jack? I'll hold my hands up, right? I'll be honest. I was on the love train today. We had a good performance yesterday. I see a lot of positives happening at the club lately, and I didn't really want to criticize anybody, right? So I kind of tried to avoid it by giving him a 7 because I'm always on the guy's back. But now that I'm here, there's no hiding away from it. So I'll fess up. I was just on the hype train because we won yesterday. I'm so happy. But I agree with you. Look, when it comes to this guy, the fact that Bentancur came on for 15 minutes and had more of an influence on the game than Harry Winks kind of shows, what you and me have been talking about all this time.
What
when
we
it
were missing.
comes to this guy, like what we've been missing in midfield. Like one moment, there was one moment at the back, Bentancur won the ball and it was outside his own box. Two quick feet, used his right and his left foot, got out of it and we're out. And then I can't help but take myself back to that game in Chelsea when the ball was in the midfield and Harry Winks just ran on and kicked it away. Straight away, because he panicked, straight away you see the two levels of differences there. Bentancur, he's going to bring confidence into others that he can handle the ball, whereas Winks maybe not so much. Look, he didn't have one of his worst performances in a Spurs jersey yesterday. Like some of his passing, like, you know what? The reason why I gave him a 7 is because I'm not used to seeing him actually like complete so many of his passes when they go forward yesterday. And that I felt like he did do. But that goal is absolutely atrocious. Basuma comes in. He's running along the edge of the box. Winks is playing on that side in the centre of midfield. You're looking at your centre midfielder. Okay, where is he? He's sitting back on top of I think it was one of our defenders. I'm not sure who it was, but he's sitting back on top of them. There's no one running in behind him. You're like, okay, Harry, go out and engage him. And you're looking like, where's Harry Winks? And he's standing there with his hands behind his back. You're like, what are you doing? Go and engage the guy. You're just letting him drift across the front, across the box, and letting him pop off a shot. And they got a goal from it. And this is the thing with this guy. And I keep saying this, every time he plays in the middle, it's like a man down, purely because of his physicality. He doesn't want to get physical. And actually, we were looking at the highlights again, Jack, just before we came on, just to kind of refresh ourselves again. And I've seen him do that a lot of times, actually. Just kind of hands behind the back, jockeying his opponent. You're like, go and get stuck in. And the fact that Bentancur came on, he was looking for the ball. He was putting himself in positions to be able to win headers, and he was calm on the ball. Honestly, I think this guy is going to crumble with that sort of pressure. Look,
See Dancer here, Dave. Also, quickly, this is another reason I actually forgot. This was actually a reason as well why he gets a 6 for me. See Dancer is that he took 2 shots. One of them, I kind of was like, you know what, fair play, Harry Winks, have a crack. At the same time, when you do watch that shot, you're like, why is he trying to bend it in the near post when he's sitting on the near post? All he does is curl it. That's all he does. He never actually drives the ball. He never actually puts his laces through it. He always does an inside the kind of foot sort of shot. And so that was a great example. And then C as well, Mr. Dancer, that one he absolutely put into the Harry Winks fan club up in the upper tiers of the sections was just also ridiculous. So
Yeah.
actually, yes, those shots alone were, even worth a 6
Scrap it.
rating.
Give him a 5. Give him a 5. He was probably the weak link in that team yesterday, in my opinion. Yeah, look, Harry's Harry. Look, it's easy for a guy to look good in the midfield when Dele Alli's playing alongside him, because all he has to do is run more than him, and that's not hard. But when you put him in with our first team and players that are actually playing well, and with Bentancur coming off the bench, I think it reminded Spurs fans a lot of what Winks should be doing, and maybe what Winks lacks in midfield. I think it was an eye-opener for a lot of Spurs fans. But look, we won. I don't really want to get crucify the guy either.
Yeah. Højbjerg for me, 8. I thought he showed the defensive prowess. I thought he showed better passing than Harry Winks did. There were actually a few different ping passes, a few different switches of play that I remember from Højbjerg. I thought he had some good touches in tight areas. Didn't really give the ball away too many times, if I remember actually correctly, Dave. I don't remember Højbjerg giving the ball away too many times. Makes those runs forward that Winks doesn't. Get stuck in. I don't know, Dave. I think wasn't like a Højbjerg man of the match sort of performance, but not a performance that he did anything wrong by any means. And also a performance where he did a lot of things well. So I feel like the fact that he didn't do anything wrong and he also did a lot of things well, but wasn't exactly the best player on the pitch, I think kind of just warrants an 8. More maybe a 7 if you're being harsh, but I feel like an 8.
Do you know what? For me, I actually think he gets an 8. I actually think he had one of his better games yesterday. He got stuck in when he was on the ball. He utilized the ball. He was very good. His passing was very good yesterday. But one thing I absolutely loved, at one stage he tracked all the way from the left-hand side across to the right-hand side, won a throw-in. The linesman gave it to us, and he's there fist pumping, celebrating all them little decisions in the game. That's a winning mentality. And I absolutely love that.
And he got an assist, actually, for Harry Kane's goal, to be fair.
Yeah. And the thing is, he didn't have to make that effort to be able to get across the pitch like that to cover the ground. He could have just said, that's Winks side, where is he? But he didn't. He covered across for him. And for me, I think, he's exactly... And when Bentancur came in, Højbjerg could play his role even better, which was winning ball.
They looked powerful
he looked
together.
Better. He looked better with Bentancur because he realised he doesn't have to do extra things to make up for what Harry Winks lacks. Bentancur has all of that. So the two of them can just absolutely vibe out in midfield. And with Højbjerg and Bentancur, a lot of teams aren't going to have easy days in that midfield, trying to get on the ball or off the ball. They're not going to have a lot of joy in there. And like you said, Jack, the assist for Harry Kane's goal, Son wins the ball back, Højbjerg's there, and, he has the nous. Rather than be greedy, he sees Harry Kane. He says, no, this is the guy that's going to put it in the back of the net. Yeah. Gives it to him. So for me, I think an 8 is certainly warranted.
Absolutely, Dave. I do feel like an 8 is certainly warranted, but we did just finish the midfield, Dave. So that does mean we do move on, actually, to our sponsors, everybody. Manscaped has been very, very kind to sponsor this episode of the Irish Hotspur, everybody. We do have Manscaped sponsoring this player ratings. It is a very crucial time of the year, everybody, when it comes to the romantic sort of season. So Manscaped do have you covered this holiday season when it comes to the romance and keeping everything down there nice and clean. But Dave, we have a few words to bring from our sponsors, Manscaped.
We do. Roses are red, violets are blue. Don't let a wild pube wreck you. Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and our sponsors at Manscaped are here for you. Before you take your partner away for that special Valentine's Day, why not make sure you prepare? Because like a wise man once said, fail to prepare, prepare to fail.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Irish Hotspur, it is the season of romance, and we just want to make sure that you're ready. With Manscaped's Performance Package 4.0, you'll have no stress with looking your best down under. The package includes, everybody, the Lawnmower 4.0, which is this electric sort of trimmer that comes with advanced skin-safe technology that reduces cuts and nicks on your romantic jewels down below. It's so easy to use since it's waterproof and comes with a 4000K LED spotlight. With that electric trimmer, it makes scoring that much easier, everybody. You simply can't miss with the floodlights down there.
And the performance package also comes with a weed whacker, which is the Manscaped's nose and hair trimmer, or nose and ear hair trimmer. And if you didn't think the package got any better, Manscaped include their very own ball toner and ball deodorant to keep your boys smelling fresh all day long.
And probably one of my favorite things, I'll be honest, Dave, is the travel bag and those anti-chafing boxers. That's included with the full performance package that everybody should get and use that 20% for. Because, Dave, like the boxers, I'll be honest, like it's kind of like bringing in Bentancur or Kulusevski. They're immediately my new favorite boxers. They're so comfortable. They're just, they're like a cloud to put on, Dave. They're heavenly. I would say just for the travel bag and the boxers alone, I would get that full performance package, Dave.
No, 100%. And just like Bentancur and Kulusevski, the amount of running they're going to do, Jack, it's important that them boxers are anti-chafing boxers as well. Very, very comfortable.
And don't forget Harris Army as well. That Manscaped also, it's not just stuff for the down under, everybody. It's not just, keeping the jewels, nice and clean and nice and smelling fresh. It's also, they want you to look good and smell good up above because they do also body washes. They do a nice, as well signature scented refined cologne. So it's not just stuff for the down under that you can get at Manscaped. You can get a lot of other goodies as well.
100%. And Manscaped created their products for nights just like Valentine's night, which is right around the corner.
Everybody. And also you can get 20% off and free shipping with our code, the Irish Hotspur code, FLATCAP. The Irish Hotspur code is FLATCAP at Manscaped. It's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code FLATCAP.
Join Cupid and shoot your arrow with Manscaped this Valentine's Day.
There you are, everybody. That is our message from Manscaped. Back to the player ratings. Go back to the attack. Go back to discussing the front three here, everybody. We do have Harry Kane to discuss and some others as well. Sonny, for me, Dave, gets an 8. You have given him a 7, which I will say, Dave, is quite harsh considering the fact that he went on that similar run that we saw against Burnley 2°, went on a ridiculous run through the midfield, absolutely bypassed 3 or 4 players, took them all for nothing, Dave. And then, had a bit of a complication where Adam Webster kind of took it off him, and then Adam Webster just, gave it to Harry Kane for that little tap in. But I don't know, Dave. I thought Sonny had a direct hand in 2 goals, had that won the ball back. And then gave it to Højbjerg. Højbjerg gave it to Harry Kane to bury it from outside the box. So Dave, that first goal would not have happened if it wasn't for Sonny winning the ball back. Also as well in that other goal where Sonny went on that spectacular run, he obviously had a huge hand in. So I feel like Dave being a bit harsh there with that 7. I think Sonny gets an 8. Had a direct hand in 2 goals.
Yeah, look. I actually did thought Son had a good game. He actually done a lot of hard work off the ball, a lot of pressing work. That one he won back for Højbjerg to be able to assist Harry Kane. That long busting run, I suppose, for the Harry Kane second goal. To be fair, I probably could have had a goal himself. I was a bit disappointed with his finishing, to be fair. Maybe I got this one wrong. Maybe I should have. Do you know what? I actually thought I did give him an 8. Actually, on reflection, I actually thought I did give him an 8. It's my bad. I was probably thinking of Harry Winks when I put in the 7. Look, he probably does deserve an 8. I was probably a bit harsh. To be fair, first game back from injury, I actually thought he had a good game. So, yeah, I got that one wrong. My bad.
To all the Sonny fans that there are plenty of, Dave is apologizing. Official apologies from Dave there, the official certified apology. But for me, Dave, Lucas, and this is where we kind of defer again. I've given Lucas a 6. I actually thought Lucas can't really point to a whole lot that he really did well. There's at one stage when he played a beautiful ball kind of in behind to kind of switch play that I can remember. But weren't exactly a lot of brilliant moments where you see Lucas just skinning man after man, creating chaos, driving through the midfield, skipping player after player. I don't know, Dave, just not really normal Lucas things that we're kind of used to. And so for me, kind of gets a 6. And I actually thought maybe Bergwijn was even better and Kulusevski were better when they came on. So for me, I think Lucas a 6, not exactly a bad performance, but not a great performance either.
Do you know what, Jack? I can see what you're saying in terms of like going forward and stuff, but what I actually think he did he always offered himself. He was always that option in the final third. He was cutting inside, outside, and I just think a lot of his movement created space for a lot of people. And on that basis, that's why I gave him a 7. I don't think he did anything drastically wrong or was awful to be able to give him a 6. I thought his control was good. Some of his passing was good. And Yeah, look, maybe he didn't have one of his best games, and maybe he wasn't too influential in any of the goals and stuff, but I actually think his movement did create a hell of a lot of space for the likes of Kane, especially Kane, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you're right, Dave,
And
actually.
that's why
But
I give him the 7.
he did put in, a lot of work defensively as well. I could see the 7. Actually, I'll meet you at the 7. Sonny gets bumped up to an 8. Lucas gets a 7. So that way we finish with our last player of the evening, Dave. Harry Kane gets a 9. I don't think he gets man of the match. I think Romero, for me, gets man of the match. But Dave, Harry Kane, a brace, an unbelievable first goal. Probably might be the goal of the month, potentially, for February. But I don't know, Dave, take it away. Harry Kane, spectacular performance, a brace from our big man, almost a hat trick. Probably should have gotten a hat trick, but we're back to seeing Harry Kane just a guaranteed scorer. We're back to seeing Harry Kane do what we're used to seeing. Harry Kane, Dave, take it away.
I can't help but feel, that goal yesterday is just, and that performance yesterday from Harry Kane. I think he's back. That's old school Harry. Where you get them chances in around the edge of the box. It's the sharpness and how he stroked that ball. It just goes to show how calm and confident he is back in front of goal once again. Before we were criticizing with some of the misses, is he that half a yard off? Maybe he's lacking that bit of sharpness. But yesterday, that goal was absolutely sublime, Jack. I mean, I'll be honest, I can't help but feel he got my tweet before the game and he was inspired, and that goal was for me. I was almost expecting him to lift up his jersey and have a white T-shirt underneath with saying that's for the Irish Hotspur. But he took it with such assurance. It's like, I'll be honest, I already thought he was going to score before he hit it. Just the way he stroked it, it kind of like rolled off the whole boot to be able to get that curl in. It was absolutely beautiful. That second goal could have easily strayed offside with Sonny's run. He didn't, kept himself onside, could have not chased the ball in, but he did, and he got his rewards. He got his goal from a yard out. Absolutely love it. But not only that, Jack, some of his passing yesterday. At one stage, he pinged one right from the left-hand side over to, from left back nearly, over to Kulusevski, right onto his toe. Another one, outside of the boot pass, straight onto Reguilon's run.
Yeah.
Hold up play, some of his 1-2s. Honestly, Harry Kane is back. I mean, and you know what? I'm so glad I stuck by him through that time. I mean, I was getting it from all angles. David, you have to accept Harry's finished. Well, no, you have to accept Harry is back and he was never finished. How about that? Big up. Actually, I'm changing that, Jack. Give him a 10. He's my man.
10 for the man, 10 for the man. But that is the end of the player ratings, everybody. Maybe just quickly, Dave, Bentancur, Stevie B, Kulusevski. I thought Bentancur was the best of the 3. Kulusevski did a lot, though, when you do feel like it. Maybe he could have taken on his players a bit more, but he could have had 2 assists. Stevie B, Dave, maybe back to his old Stevie B ways, missed an absolute sitter from Kulusevski. I would actually say, everybody, that missed Stevie B chance could be maybe the sitter of the season that was missed. I feel like that was the sitter of the season. But all 3 subs I actually thought did great. Stevie B, Kulusevski, and Bentancur. I'd probably give maybe Dave Bentancur a 7. Give him a 7. But I mean, that's being probably really conservative.
Well,
Probably
15
could give
minutes,
him an
that's
8.
actually fair. That's actually a good rating for 15 minutes.
Yeah, and Bergwijn 6 or a 5. He should have had a goal at the end of the day. Bergwijn should have had a goal. So I'd give him a 6, maybe a 5. And then Kulusevski, I'd also give actually a 7, because Kulusevski did create a lot. He could have, and he put himself in good positions, also put himself in good positions to receive the ball, to be able to cause damage. So all 3 substitutes also had a great game. But that's the end of the player ratings, Dave.
Yeah, just quickly for me. Look, Bentancur, I think absolutely brilliant. I agree with you with a 7. Kulusevski, I would give a 7 as well. I think on another day he would have had 2 assists. I would say I would have liked him maybe for him to be a bit more direct in some of the positions he found himself on the ball in yesterday. And that when it comes to Bergwijn, is it going back to the Stevie B that we thought he always was? I mean, honestly, there's no excuse for that miss. It's absolutely shocking. It's not even just over the bar; it's gone completely up into Rose's head. It's a shocker of a miss. But yeah, that's it for the player rating, guys. I hope everybody has enjoyed it. Make sure you do smash that like button, that subscribe button as well. And if you have enjoyed it, feel free to get in a super chat. to show the appreciation. If not, just tell me and Jack how good we are or how bad we are. It doesn't matter. But Jack, where can people find you?
Yeah, over on the second channel, everybody, just past 930. We're less than 70 away from 1,000, everybody, and will be absolutely momentous. Please head on over to the second channel. Lots of content coming out. I'm going to be doing a few highlight reactions to some players that we brought in, like Kulusevski's highlights, maybe Bentancur's highlights, for me and Dave. Going to also maybe look at some videos with Darius. Tomorrow with Darius and I are going to be looking at our Premier League predictions from the beginning of the season, our Serie A predictions from the beginning of the season, Bundesliga, Liga, La Liga, all that good stuff. We're basically going to be reviewing what we thought at the beginning of the season, probably look at everything that maybe Darius got right and I got wrong. But as well, doing lots of more content on the second channel, especially that we're getting so close to 1,000, doing a lot more content than maybe you're used to, doing Champions League watch-alongs, of course, especially because it's that time of season. I would just say, everybody, the Flat Cap Euro Talk channel, it was your second home for the January window. It will now be your second home because there's lots of good content coming out over there.
No, please do get over there and check out. Let's make Jack's dream happen of getting the channel to 1K subscribers, guys. It'll be absolutely a momentous day for that. Jack puts a lot of hard work in there and here as well. So, just get over there and show the appreciation. At the end of the day, he's a Spurs fan. So, you got to show all yids some love. Dermot's giving me a 10 out of 10 and Jack 9.5 out of 10. What's wrong with Jack that you took the 0.5 off Dermot?
I think I had a little shady back pass to the keeper at one stage, Dave. Didn't really communicate, with the keeper. So, lost a bit of a point there. But, it's all right. Make it back next match.
No, I love that. I love it. Yeah, Dermot, you can give us our player ratings after every show. You can absolutely love that. But look, guys, we're not going to keep you too long here this evening. Go off, enjoy the rest of your evening. Bask in Spurs' glory. You've got Middlesbrough in the 5th round. What an absolute tie that is. It's going to be a cracker. We're going through to the 6th round. We'll beat Middlesbrough with ease. So happy days. I mean, what more do we want? We will be back tomorrow with a fan show. And by the way, we'll be dropping that podcast tomorrow with the We Are Tottenham TV and Matty Hayes as well. That'll be before the fan show anyway. Not sure what channel it'll be on, but I'll let you know in the community section of the channel. And then we'll be bringing the fan show tomorrow night as well. And then we'll tell you what to expect for the rest of the week coming up from the channel. But guys, go off and enjoy your Sunday evenings. If you love Harry Kane as much as I do, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and get your comments in underneath. Let us know whether you agree, whether you think we're harsh. Did we miss anything? Let us know. As always, in Tottenham we trust, and same as Conte. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Everywhere we go.